Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Moss from Mountain West Connection or MWCconnection.com. We are venturing into some more video stuff, or at least I am on my behalf of here on the site, but we're trying to do some other things, kind of mixed up a little bit to kind of give everybody a different feel, because heck, people may actually want to watch this face do some stuff, who knows, or maybe I'll mix in some graphics, but we're working on some video things, and this particular one will be going off the headlines, quick hits, like the Making the Rounds post. Essentially, we started back up and have done periodically. This could be reacting to other posts where we'd rather talk about it than write about it, because sometimes, hey, it works better to talk about it, and also maybe there'll be some visual elements besides my face on this stuff. But basically, first up today, we got some recruiting news, football and basketball. Some bowl news where there could be a game overseas, which I'm sure everybody has heard about. If not, Google Dubai bowl game and you'll know what I'm talking about, or just listen to this for the next minute and a half or so and I'll let you know what's going on with that. But the first up, Utah State joining the Mountain West next month. They offered a handful of, I think, 5 or 6 guys from the Utah Prospects AAU team, and this is for 2015 hoops, so it's still way down the road, but I'm trying to find news. It's the off season. No college stuff going on now, so you get what you get from this thing. But apparently there are some pretty good players, because multiple ones have already got offers from Utah and BYU after the initial Utah State offer. But the main person to keep an eye on is, I'm going to butcher the name like I do every other name it seems like, but McCoy Maywin. Mackle Maywin, I'll go with that. That sounds good. He's a low post player, and the reason he's the best one on the list, at least as of right now, from that position, is that ESPN named him to the Under Armour Gridiron Session, or let me rephrase that. He was the top low post player at that Under Armour Academy camp. So, hey, anytime you can be named MVP at any camp is pretty good. And then there's some football recruiting going on. There's a bunch on the site now, but specifically something we did not get to, we're tossing in here, is that the Colorado State, for the 2014 quarterback class, they're looking to bring in at least one. They have about 5 on their list, but they brought in Canada, Texas, Ben Arbuckle. He didn't go to their camp this weekend. I'm not sure why, but he did throw for coaches, and apparently he set the bar, so he's way up here to be the guy who they're going to compare the other 4 or 5 or 6 or however many they decide to bring in during the summer evaluation period. No offer is made, but he seems to be in the driver's seat at this time to begin an offer for CSU, and so check out his highlights if you have a chance, but it sounds like he could be their quarterback, at least for the 2014 class. So that's something to keep an eye on if you want to talk about Rams recruiting, which I know everybody is interested in. Not sarcasm, but it came out that way. And then there's also some Hawaii news, not the football field news. We all knew about that. Jim Weber at LostLetterman.com put up a little thing on his site of Rainbow Field. Not going to happen. We know that. But I was doing our podcast the other day with Chris, and on Twitter, we got a random Twitter message from @CharlesSoller, so give them a follow. But there will be something on the site as well to find some links. They basically, on Flickr, do uniform. They go nuts for uniforms. They have all sorts of alternates. A pretty sweet Boise State one I'll put up one time. But basically, they have like 5. You're seeing them right now, but all these alternate Hawaii football helmets with the different variation of the rainbow, their traditional dark green and the H on there. So that's pretty sweet. And I hope somebody from Under Armour is listening, or they're going to take advantage, because we all saw what they did for the Maryland state flag uniform a couple years ago. Wasn't the best publicity, but I thought they were okay. At least part of it was okay, but it's a good idea to get some publicity to a team that's hasn't been good for a while. And then finally, as I mentioned at the beginning, a bowl game overseas in Dubai is being talked about, or Ireland. There's also places in the U.S. for this bowl game. The Christmas Bowl in Los Angeles, that's a pending name. Little Rock, a couple cities in Miami, but going overseas to Ireland is one thing. Navy, Notre Dame did it this past year, worked okay. But going halfway across the world to Dubai, they'll have nice weather, because it's in a freaking desert out there in the Middle East. But it's a rich country, but they're going to have to pay a ton of money if they're going to want to have teams make it worth it. If any fan wants to go, forget that. However, I'm going to make the cheap joke that there could be more fans at a Dubai College Football Bowl game between Mountain West and a Sun Belt team than the ACC title game. So I'm just going to go with it, and I just did. So I don't see a bowl game overseas happening. They haven't really said who's going to be in it, like what's the criteria, if it's a big money game. But anything overseas, you're going to have to pay BCS money to make it worth it, because everybody loses money on bowl games now. But that's all we got today. This is the first installment of some video headline making the rounds extravaganza, I'm going to call it. But hope everybody enjoyed it, and just make sure to check out MWCconnection.com for more Mountain West news.